early crossing town, the gravel shakes my Schwinn. I cross the tracks and hop the fence, and his mama lets me in.
Hi, I'm Nadia Estrada, and I'm here to interview Fremont resident Michael McNevin.
Both of my mom and dad came from the East Coast during World War II when they were kids. Both my grandparents, my mom and my dad's folks, got jobs in the shipyards. They grew up a floor apart, and when they became teenagers, they fell in love. They were pretty young when they got married. My mom was 18, I think, and my dad was 22. They finished having us. By the time my mom was 23 or 24, she already had the 4 boys. In 1966, I was 4 years old. I'm the youngest of the 4 boys. We moved into Niles on Washburn Drive, 486 Washburn Drive. My name's still on the sidewalk.
What kind of work he had while he was here?
He was the Bayside Pump Company. He had an office over one of the convenience stores on Farwell Drive, near Maui and Farwell. Mm-hmm. And he was a contractor, put in storm drains, pump stations all over the Bay Area. So my brothers and I were always outside. This is in the late 60s, early 70s, when parents most of the time said, get out of the house and don't come back till dinner. And so all the neighborhood kids would be out and running around for the same reason. All their parents kicked them out too. So we would run into the kids around the neighborhood, play down at the lakes. We had bamboo forests, we had hobo jungles, we had Poison Oak Hill, we called it. And of course the train tracks everywhere, the train trestles. The Alameda Creek surrounds Niles, so you were always 2 blocks from water, 2 blocks from trouble. I went to Hacienda Elementary School, which is at the other end of town, at the north end of town, I think it is, and for kindergarten through 3rd, and then finished at Niles School from 4th grade to 6th grade, which is a couple blocks from where I grew up. Mm-hmm. That old elementary school from the 30s. Yeah, that's where I went to elementary school. Hopkins Junior High. I went to Mission San Jose for my freshman year. I went to Washington for my sophomore year. And when I was 16, I went to San Ramon. We had moved to San Ramon when I was 16, but not before I had all my childhood in Niles. The 84 to 85, I was playing on the streets in Manhattan. I was playing in the Bay Area, mostly as a cover, playing old Paul Simon, that kind of stuff. And in 1990, I had been playing the bars too much. I was working construction, some with my dad, and playing soccer a couple times a week for a corporate league out in San Ramon. And decided I needed to launch my original stuff. I was not playing my original songs in these bars very often, but I had a stockpile of them. I won a song competition in Texas and Napa and Washington, songwriting competitions. And I also won the West Coast Songwriters Association Song of the Year in 91 and 92. So I had a few feathers in my cap at that point where I could start to pursue that. It's a difficult career to pursue unless you have something on your side, and that was right. What I had on my side at that point were some awards. Not since 91 have I had a day job. Mm-hmm. I've just done full-time music since I released the first record in 92. I'm very good on the Etch A Sketch. As a little boy, I was a good drawer on the Etch A Sketch. I have since become pretty well known for that art form, and I do drawings that go with my songs. I have a song about bagging groceries for a Bellows Market, which started out in Niles. Now they became Food for Less after, they became big. There's another song about an old guy that chases out of his court for having dirt clod fights. Mr. Mays, mean old Mr. Mays. I have a song about running from a train over the Alameda Creek near the rubber dam. It's called 2 Feet Ahead of the Train. I have a drawing that goes with all of those songs. And I have a song about Big Daddy's Restaurant at the mouth of Niles Canyon. And I have a drawing that goes with it. Here's the CD I have called Sketch. And Sketch is a 1996 release, and the cover of it is a drawing of Big Daddies. And there's a song on the record called The Ballad of Big Daddies because they closed the place down. I wrote a Little League song that is now in the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, New York.
Wow.
It went into their baseball song collection last year. You're the pride of Niles Centerville, a second baseman worth his weight in copper, and the honor of the little league is riding on his shoulders. The time run on third, we'll have to go. The game is sure. If you can catch the ball and throw to first, the glory will be yours. But then the pride of Niles Centerville goes bouncing through your legs, and the next guy hits the homer to the moon. The game is over. Fremont is a small, big town. And Niles in particular, from my district, I mostly have memories from Niles, but Fremont as a city is a great place to have a family. It's kid-friendly. It's a community that doesn't have a lot of hard edges to it. I use Niles as my base. My experiences and the visual stories that I put into my songs, I think, developed from growing up in such a Huck Finn type of environment. And so when I travel, I look for those kind of Mayberry moments on the road, and I write about that. I like to chronicle Americana, and I think I had an Americana childhood growing up in Niles, so I look for that when I'm traveling. I like to go to small towns. I like the city too. I lived in Jersey City. I used to play the streets in Manhattan. Right after college, I went to New York to play the streets in Manhattan, and I lived in Nashville. But I rolled back under the tree in 1999. I'd been living out of my truck, and I'd lived in the Sierra Nevada as well. And the travels, everything that I've done, it seems to have rolled me back here. So I've been back in Niles about 6 years. I really love it, and I think partly because I looked for a town like Niles. I didn't know I was looking for Niles, but you always think you're going to land somewhere. You think you're going to move somewhere and land somewhere else, and I didn't find a town that I loved as much as Niles, so I came back. I just look forward to growing old here. I think it has a lot to look forward to as a city, and I'm proud of it. I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of my roots here, so I just want the roots to go deeper, that's all.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm up early crossing town, the gravel shakes my Schwinn. I cross the tracks and hop the fence, and his mama lets me in. Brian Jones is still asleep, so she and I drink coffee. She cooks me up a scrambled egg, and we play a hand of rummy.